If you currently use Twitter in your marketing efforts or are thinking about it, you need to understand Twitter Analytics. Twitter Analytics will help you understand your audience better and thus helps you optimize your Twitter marketing efforts accordingly. So if you want to see better results from your Twitter marketing, then keep watching for the ultimate breakdown of Twitter Analytics. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Brandy with LYFE Marketing, the digital marketing agency with a mission to help small businesses grow. And today I'm walking you through everything that you need to know about Twitter Analytics. Maybe you didn't even know that Twitter had a built-in analytics platform available. Or maybe you are aware of it, but you're not super sure about how to use it yet. Either way, I'm going to cover the important things you need to know to effectively utilize Twitter Analytics. But before I dive in, go ahead and like this video for me, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the new business marketing videos that we put out every single week. All right, so to first get to our Twitter Analytics, log into Twitter, click the More ... drop-down, and click Analytics. This will take you to analytics.twitter.com, where you will land on your account home, about which Twitter says, this dashboard features high-level statistics and is a gallery of your greatest hits. We'll spotlight your top performing tweets and introduce you to the influencers in your network. From there, we get a quick glance at the top of the last 28 days with how many tweets you published, your tweet impressions, your profile visits, your mentions, and your new followers as compared to the previous 28 days. Now, as a quick disclaimer before we continue on with the rest of this video, I'm going to walk you through our analytics solely for the purpose of showing you how to navigate and interpret the metrics it gives you. The numbers on screen might not necessarily be the goal numbers that you should aim for. It just doesn't make as much sense for us to invest our time and resources into Twitter when other platforms like Google and YouTube drive infinitely more leads for us. But oppositely, Twitter does make sense for a lot of our clients. It just depends on the nature of your business and your target audience. So if you want to see the Twitter strategies that we use for our clients with ideal Twitter results, that's a separate video we can make if you let us know you want to see that in the comments. But all right, moving on. After we see those initial summary metrics, you'll see tweet highlights for the current month we're in, including the top tweet that earned you the most impressions, the top tweet mentioned from another account, the top follower you gained based on how many followers they have, and the top media tweet that earned you the most impressions. So basically, these metrics show you at a glance what type of content performed the best for any given month, as well as who your biggest follower is and what mention of you got the most engagement. So that's the analytics account homepage. If you click over to the tweets tab, known as the tweet activity dashboard, you'll get a more extensive look into your tweet analytics. For this page, Twitter says you'll know exactly how many times people have seen, retweeted, liked, and replied to each tweet. You can also filter by promoted only tweets. You can adjust the data range and export the data as a CSV file. Over in the top right corner is where you can adjust the date range of analytics you want to look at. It automatically sets to the last 28 days, but for instance, you can change it to the last 2 or 3 months to see a more big picture pattern within your Twitter marketing. And the graph will change accordingly based on the date range you have set to show how many impressions your tweets received over that period. Below that, you'll see the impressions, engagements, and engagement rate for any and all of your tweets, specifically your top tweets, your tweets and replies, and promoted tweets. Again, all within the date range you set at the top. Now, the first thing that I wanted to do when looking at the top tweets was filter the columns to show tweets in order by most engagement, but it won't let you do that currently. It automatically filters everything by top impressions. Now, impressions are the number of times users saw the tweet on Twitter. So that's important to note that it's not the same as reach, which are individual people who saw your tweet. So for example, if I saw the same tweet 2 times, that would count as 2 impressions. That's why, in my opinion, impressions are not as valuable of a metric as engagements are. And engagements include all clicks anywhere on the tweet, including clicks on the hashtags, links, avatar, username, and tweet expansion, as well as the obvious engagement metrics of retweets, replies, likes, and follows. So that's why it's a little bit of a bummer that you can't filter by the metrics that you want to look at and you're forced to view things by top of impressions. But if you wanted to take the time to export this information into an Excel sheet, you could filter things the way you want to from there. All right, the engagement rate column is just Twitter doing the math for you and dividing the amount of engagements you got on a tweet by the amount of impressions it received. And then lastly, the charts on the right just break down your engagements into how many were link clicks, how many were retweets without comments, and how many were likes, etc. You can use this page to keep a pulse on what content topics are resonating the most with your audience based on which tweets are getting the most engagement. From there, it gives you a shortcut to click the promote button if you want to put advertising dollars behind a tweet to get even more impressions. All right, so let's move on to the next page. If you scroll back up to the top and click the More dropdown, you can click Videos. Now, if you don't post videos, there's probably not going to be much to look at on this page, but just about all we post is videos, so let's take a look at the analytics here. This page is called the Video Activity Dashboard, and Twitter says, this dashboard displays retention, view rate, and completion rate for all of your videos on Twitter. You can also filter by promoted views on videos. You can adjust the date range and export the data as a CSV file. So again, the option to adjust the date range is in the upper right corner, which will alter the graph at the top accordingly. This graph shows how many views your videos received for the time period set. And for us, it's only showing organic views because we don't promote our tweets. But if you do promote your tweets, that data should show here as well. Then if you scroll down, it shows your video views and completion rate for all videos or just promoted videos. It says video views are the total number of times your video was viewed across all tweets, but it doesn't specify as to what counts as a view. Does that mean someone could just watch it for 1 second and it counts as a view? That was my first question when looking at this. I was looking at it like, how many seconds does someone have to watch before it counts as a view? So I looked into it for you. Twitter Help says the main Twitter video view metric is triggered when a user watches a video for at least 2 seconds and sees at least 50% of the video player in view. Now, the completion rate is the total number of completed views divided by the total number of video starts. And then the trends chart on the right breaks these numbers down a different way, showing you the total minutes viewed and your video retention rate. Similar to the previous tweet activity screen, these columns will help you keep track of which topics in your video content are resonating the most with your target audience. Together, both of these analytics pages should help guide you in deciding which content to make more of and what topics within your niche get the most response from your audience. Now, the other two options under the More drop-down menu are App Manager and Conversion Tracking. I'm not going to get into these too much because these get more into the landscape of Twitter advertising. But for the sake of this video, I will say that if you are running Twitter ads, these screens can give you some more insight into the campaigns you're running, as well as prompt you to set up your conversion tracking tag if you haven't already. So that's the walkthrough of Twitter analytics, but now you might be thinking, okay, now what? Well, these analytics are meaningless if you don't take them into account when making decisions about your Twitter marketing strategy. Twitter says Twitter Analytics shows you how your audience is responding to your content, what's working and what's not. Use this data to optimize your future Twitter campaigns and get better results. So if you don't allow the data to guide your decision making, there's really no use in studying it. Here's a quick list of things Twitter Analytics could guide you in. What kind of content to create based on tweets and videos that get the most engagement, which tweet to put more advertising dollars behind based on what has performed the best out of your promoted tweets so far, what conversations your audience is having around your business and what they want to see from you based on the context of tweets where people are mentioning you, and possible influencer opportunities based on who your top followers are and how many followers they have. Quick question for you guys. Do you already use Twitter Analytics? Comment yes for me if so, and comment no if you haven't yet. Otherwise, that's all I have for you today, guys. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video.